Father Michael had always been a devout man, dedicating his life to serving the Lord as a priest. He had always felt a calling to work in the medical field, and so, after many years of studying and training, he found himself working as a chaplain at a large hospital. One evening, as he was making his rounds, he came across a young child who was lying in a hospital bed, hooked up to various machines that beeped and whirred in the background. The child was deathly ill, and Father Michael could see the fear and sorrow in the eyes of the child's parents as they sat by their son's bedside. As he approached the child, Father Michael felt a strange sense of familiarity wash over him. He couldn't quite place it, but something about the child seemed eerily familiar. He leaned in closer to the child and, as he looked into his eyes, he suddenly remembered a traumatic event from his own childhood. In that moment, Father Michael realized that the child was a manifestation of his own death, come to claim him as its own. He felt a cold hand wrap around his heart as the child's eyes locked onto his, and he knew that there was no escape. As the machines around him began to flatline, Father Michael let out a scream that echoed through the hospital. The child's parents, as well as the doctors and nurses, rushed to his side, but it was too late. Father Michael had died, just as the child had shown him. As he approached the child, Father Michael felt a strange sense of familiarity wash over him. He couldn't quite place it, but something about the child seemed eerily familiar. He leaned in closer to the child and, as he looked into his eyes, he suddenly remembered a traumatic event from his own childhood. After that day, the hospital staff could not explain the death of Father Michael. They could not find any medical reason for it, but they knew one thing for sure, that his face was contorted in terror when he died. And from that day on, the hospital staff avoided working in the night shift, as they heard strange noises and the ghostly figure of a priest wandering the halls.